Hello everybody, it is me, Pacific. Let me read to you how ridiculous Loremaster has become and his sidekick. First of all, they're constantly re-editing their site. Second of all, it was just made known to me by one of my other friends that they're posting pictures of my pickup truck on there. One of my friends, several, wrote the Joker that owns Encyclopedia Satanica, and he responded saying, "We are not breaking any Swedish laws." They don't care about ethics. They don't care about what goes on in the U.S. They like their little satanic site, so they're going to defend it. Let me tell you something, Pacific, just based on that alone makes me say I would never go to Sweden. If we ever go to war with them, I hope we blow them to highest heaven. That would be nice, meaning the U.S. Any country that allows that kind of crap and that kind of stuff to proliferate, sites that encourage bullying, hate, racism, homophobia, and other things. But let me read to you what a viewer sent me this morning. I did get this person's explicit permission to read this. This is very telling about the people on the site. This is not my writing. This is somebody else. After carefully disseminating the Encyclopedia Dramatica page line by line, I've come to a few insightful conclusions. I understand you don't want to look at that page, and that's fine. Don't worry about that. I've already done it for you. That page is no longer an insidious and slanderous slam against you anymore, because in reality that page has nothing to do with you at this point at all. You are not what that page has represented you to be, so that page contains absolutely no representative information of what either you or your life is all about. So considering that, the page has nothing to do with Pacific Ocean Asia, Sexy Asian Dragon, my name, or any other person or avatar that currently resides on the World Wide Web. So if it's not about you, then what is it about? The page is actually a very revealing window into the convoluted and perverted minds of the particularly vindictive psychopaths that bothered to author and post it in the first place. So understanding that these pathetic little perverts have unwittingly opened up their twisted psyche and allowed us to come on in and fart around for a while, some informed conclusions can now be drawn about these people and their unusual emotional motivations through this online window that they provided us with. 1. The page is being actively edited by 2 different people at any one time. 2. The sycophant cronies that are repeatedly referred to by Loremaster number no more than 4 in total. 3. The nature of the author's insecurities that are contained within their respective postings, edits, and revisions of the page's material betray just who the authors are and just what motivates their irrational online jihad against you. There is an inordinate amount of vitriolic hate and irrational vituperation contained within the thesis, indicating that both authors are quite emotionally driven people. It's hard to disseminate any sense of logic or continuity in the writing after reading wave after wave of contradictory, hate-filled venom. In fact, it's almost unintelligible. But I couldn't help but notice that you are specifically referred to time and again as being a effing faggot in one paragraph after another. But it doesn't take much discernment to realize that the writer of this not only has a very powerful, bizarre, and obsessive fixation on homosexuality, but the author is in fact a homosexual themselves. This can be determined by the repeated admonishment of you being a homosexual hypocrite, as the author goes on to strongly impart to the reader that true homosexuality and the acceptance thereof is a lifestyle of freedom and nobility, as it is an unfairly maligned and unjustly persecuted lifestyle of liberating sexual bliss. It's not worded that way, but it's the implication contained therein. Yet that very same author excoriates you repeatedly as being a closeted, hypocritical, hate-filled faggot in every other line of the hit piece's bizarre manifesto. This is clearly the written word of the emotionally driven butt crusader, Vil himself talking. You made some videos on your channel some time ago that excoriated homosexuality for the deviant lifestyle of perversion that it really is. And it's obviously that this little SHIT stain not only watched every minute of those videos, but he literally imploded in an emotional meltdown when he saw them. He obviously hates you with a wanton passion because he's a homosexual himself, and as such, he sees you as a closet homophobe who is in denial of his own sexual nature, which is an unforgivable sin according to the universe. Ergo, you have no right to criticize or judge him or anything that he chooses to do in any way at all. His own Twitter account even refers to your 14-year-old boy Your 14-year-old son is the boy I care about on one of his previous postings on Twitter. This amidst one posting after another about his own homosexual liaisons with one boy after another, implying that your son was his current love interest at the time. Even his own words to you in person betray as much. I'm going to say an indent right here. I have every reason to believe that Mr. Ville is a pedophile. I have worked with children, I've worked with troubled children, and watching things that have taken place since last year, there's no doubt in my mind that Ville has definitely done stuff with children under 18. I have no doubt in my mind about that. There are also repeated references on the page about how Pacific is going to die alone and how Pacific can't and won't get a woman. That worn-out horse shit comes straight out of the MGTOW Bible according to Loremaster himself. If you don't believe me, just watch any of the videos on his YouTube page. One depressing asked video after another about his overpowering fear of dying alone, about being alone and coming to grips with self-imposed pain of loneliness according to MGTOW. Loremaster is furious that he extended the luminous hand of MGTOW deity to you as a perceived fellow brother in the noble MGTOW cause, and Pacific, you rejected his fat ass. Again, another unforgivable sin according to the gods of the radical MGTOW anti-woman social movement. I strongly suspect that Loremaster is a closeted homosexual himself at this point, who isn't out of the closet, while the butt crusader most certainly is. Loremaster is obviously both an incoherent drunk and a drug addict, while the butt crusader is a drug addict and perhaps the most hate-filled pieces of worthless, vile, disgusting emo shit that I've ever encountered in my 43 years on planet Earth. His entire Twitter account is nothing but one annoying little girl speak postings after another. But he is a much better writer than Loremaster is, and I believe that this is another indication that his writing skills are currently editing the Encyclopedia Dramatica page. Neither one of these guys would ever have anything to do with each other outside of the uncommon singularity that unites them both, and that's their irrational hatred of you. The Encyclopedia Dramatica page was both haphazardly and hastily written while being clumsily put together, as evidenced by the very poorly edited content and the rank misspellings that plague virtually every paragraph of the entire page. Loremaster's evidence of trespass. It's horribly contradictory. It follows no logical conclusion or rational course of discussion at all, making one wonder what the purpose of all the effort really was. And the authors are quite cowardly determined to remain completely and totally anonymous. The reckless postings of both yours and your fans' personal information had to be repeatedly edited from the page so as to avoid any form of criminal prosecution of the authors. And just who are these little a-holes choosing to attack with their online vitriol now? None other than Michael Laidlaw. Now he's a pretty inoffensive guy, so why waste time attacking him? Because Laidlaw has posted commentary on both Loremaster's and Ville Christ YouTube pages in defense of his friend Pacific, and it hasn't gone unnoticed by these little misfits either. It is also of paramount interest that the repeated revisions of the page have quickly removed any and all references to both Ville Christ and his YouTube account from the page's online content, and the current editor of material seems to openly admit that Loremaster is also a co-editor of the entire page's content and presentation. As I've said, this online character assassination attempt has nothing to do with you anymore at this stage, Pacific, because it isn't a slam against you in so much as it's a very revealing window of the chaotic toilet bowl mentality of both of the page's mentally disturbed co-authors. Case in point, your recent video that pulled the curtain of anonymity back on both Loremaster and the Butt Crusader was a Pacific Ocean Asia bullseye, and I can sense a feeling of uneasiness on the other side now because of it. These people have no insightful skills of discernment to speak of, and they reveal far more about themselves through their vitriolic writing as they ultimately damage themselves for the effort far beyond any damage that they ever intended to inflict upon you in the first place. You're slowly but surely gaining the upper hand and the high ground here in the court of objective public opinion. They can only go down from here, and you can only go up. Viewers, I want to say something. These guys and this writing here is bang on, and I wanted to say to my viewers that I'm very amazed. Let me see. Oh, and this author wrote this morning. Okay, let's get out of this. This thing is acting up. Let's see if it pulls up. Boy, I'll tell you what, Bing search engine is one of the worst. Time to eat. Okay, now we're going to go to part 2 of this, and we're going to talk about somebody else. This is another letter by a fan of mine, When YouTube switched to Google, I wasn't able to log into my YouTube account without making a new Google profile, and so I managed to get around that and get onto YouTube anyway. Then I was banned from commenting because in order to comment on a video, you needed a new Google account. YouTube isn't that important to me, and I don't like being told what to do, so I just let it go for a few months and said to hell with it. I eventually made a Google account, but I wasn't happy about doing it, and I'm still PO'd about it. I was able to comment on videos again from that day forward. Find Peace went through the trouble of crafting a brand new separate Google account for the express purpose of trolling your channel and attacking both you and your channel's content. Now, who the hell would go through that kind of trouble to do something like that? An unemployed, very angry head case with way too much time on their hands. This guy is pissed off. Make no mistake about that one. His accusation that I'm your nihilistic guru is actually a double insult. First, he seems to presuppose that you're not smart enough to craft your own intellectual content, which is BS because you were making videos long before I ever stumbled across your channel on YouTube. Secondly, if I was really your nihilistic guru, then you're not much of an attentive student because the doctrines of nihilism are something that's nowhere to be found on your channel, and you've never even hinted at advocating that belief system in the first place. So this is the way he interprets your channel's content. He seems to do so from a level of extreme arrogance that's only matched by his ignorance of your channel's actual content. Find Peace sees me as being dangerous because he knows that he can't BS me, while at the same time he must see you as being stupid, naturally, because I've already BS'd you, because that's what nihilistic gurus do. And I've also noticed that the activity on Christian Advisor's channel seems to have ceased entirely just shortly before the new channel of Find Peace was established on YouTube. I blocked Christian Advisor because I could already tell that he was a condescending, arrogant legalist with no sense of humor or intellect to speak of. You must have done the same because he's mad enough to take the steps to craft a new Google account for the purpose of taking some sort of revenge. And just look at his fan base. Every Social Security basket case and mentally disturbed medicated fruitcake that you were ever forced to ban from your channel because of their bizarre, violent, atheistic, or unintelligible commentary. The more that this Find Peace character makes an attempt at actual coherent writing, the more they inadvertently reveal about themselves, and I've come to the conclusion that this is just another medicated a-hole on a legalistic jihad. I didn't pay... Oh, never mind. Let me jump back here. Let's see if I can find... let's back up here. I hate this bingster, bing, bing, bingy, bing. Let's see if I can find this. Come on. Boy, this is dumb. How about if we go to that? Let's see if that works. This is stupid. Okay, let's try this one. Boy, this just does not want to pull up file folders today. Come on, you stupid Bing. Okay, it wants to be retarded, so we're going to sign out of that and continue with the video. Yeah, leave this page because this page doesn't work. Yes, leave this page because it doesn't want to work. Thank you. All right, so let's talk about the events. I agree with the writer of these two different emails, and I'm going to say something. When people resort to this kind of attack, let's talk about who he refers to as Butt Crusader. Works at a Pizza Hut, I think. Gets fired from jobs because he smarts off and cusses at the boss. I heard that directly out of his own mouth once. Gets kicked out of apartment after apartment. And then people want to take pictures of my truck and post that on the internet. But if you notice, people, that they will not post their addresses, they will not post their photos, and they will not post their pictures of their vehicles or anything. Why is that? Because they're cowards. So here's two people that live in the United States criticizing Pacific. They get on a site that's out of the country so that they can get away with this. Encyclopedia Dramatica is not a site that is Christian. It is not a site that stands on morals or values whatsoever. It is for the sole purpose of people being dramatic, making up stories, making up BS, slander, defamation, racism. And the site's founder, I don't know who or what he is. I just know his name is Joseph Evers or something. Sounds to me like a bit of a loser to create a site like that. Why would somebody create a site where people can foment malcontent and hate and stuff like that? And, well, we're breaking no Swedish laws. What about ethical laws? What about character defamation? What if we made a page about you, lying about you, Mr. Founder of Encyclopedia Satanica? Would you like that? Maybe you don't care. But the bottom line is as you can see, is people have descended into an irrational cesspool in their attack against me. Loremaster, Butt Crusader, and the 2 other cronies that are on the site. They're not going to post pictures of their stuff. They're not going to post pictures of their houses. They're not going to put their address. They're not going to put pictures of their cars. People have already said, tell the authorities, and I have. I've done it. I've said, people are doing this, and the police made the comment to me, if anything happens, because of what has happened, we would have reasonable force to go in with a subpoena, find out where these people live, and we could prosecute and say, we have reason to believe that you've damaged his vehicle or you've done this. Stupid call, boys. Stupid call. I don't post pictures of your stuff. Even if I knew your address, I wouldn't post it. Even if I knew your vehicle, I wouldn't post it. Because that's wrong. The way I fight is I confront you guys head on and say what you're doing is wrong. Trying to encourage people to get revenge on me, attacking my fans and then editing your site, changing names and changing things. Just like the writer of this email that I got this morning, he's right on. You are showing yourselves who you are. Butt Pirate needs to get a job. Butt Pirate needs to stop being a pedophile. And Butt Pirate needs to, if he wants to be homosexual, that's one thing. But when you're affecting people, minors, like you were, or having influence on them, you damn right I'm going to say something. If you got a problem with that, go back to your Finland country and get out of here. I'm an American. I'm under this Constitution. I have more right than you do because I was born in this country, homeboy. You're a mouth. And as an old expression that I learned in school, pull down your pants because I can't hear you. You're talking out of your butt, dude. You're rude, you're crude, you're socially unacceptable. Somebody I work with doesn't even like you. Saw your Facebook page and said this guy's hideous. And she was emo. There are so many people that have seen your Facebook page since you've opened up all this drama. People from all walks of life. My attorney has seen it. My son's probation officer has seen it. The Lakewood Police Department has seen it. And they have said this guy is disgusting. So you're a legend in your own mind. You're making your little insidious satanic hate page. And you're not very wise. Maybe what I'll do is I'll take some pictures of that. In fact, I have some pictures, and I might just get a police escort to your grandma's house and say, did you know that your grandson's doing this on the internet, attacking an innocent family because he had involvement with my son, and he is acting in such a way that is consistent that he did homosexual things to my son? I'm sorry. You can say all you want you didn't, but you're acting like a jilted lover. I've worked with students all my life. You have not. I know what the signs of acting out are. I saw what you did when you created rebellion in my son against his mother and I both. Oh, we have our faults. We're not denying that. But you single-handedly fomented rebellion in him. And you know what? I have every reason to believe that you've done something to him. So you can lie and you can say whatever you want. But I do know one thing. The truth will come out one day because the Bible says what's done in secret will be shouted from the rooftops. It will come out one day. And the wheels in my mind are turning and talking to some people and some authorities, and it's pretty obvious why you're pissed off. Because I cut in on your lover. Well, I got bad news for you. That's my son. He's not your lover. You're a sick boy. You're a sick little man going after children. That's called a pedophile. Saying you cared about him more, loved him more, give me a freaking break. You can't even get a job and keep one. You can't make enough money to take care of yourself. You don't have good job references. You cannot even live in one place for more than 3 months without getting booted. I've told you this before, and I'm going to tell you again. The greater burden of evidence on who the fool is would lean your direction, not towards mine. By the way, just so you know, one of the guys at work says he wants to talk to the boss and see if they can hire me on full time. They don't want me to go back to my other job. So while you're getting kicked out of apartments, I'm getting offers for people to have me come and stay with them in Germany, Korea, even people to visit them in the United States. I must say something to you, butt pirate, butt crusader, butt pillager. I'm not a homosexual. I've had my dabblings in it, but I determine men are not for me. And the difference between me and you is I never liked butts. I never stuck my ding-dong in somebody's butt. Nobody stuck their ding-dong in mine. I'll tell you exactly what it was. This guy's feeling me, touching me down there. And it happened when I was at a troubled point in my life where I felt a lot of rejection and somebody touched me and it felt good. But at the same time, I thought it was ultimately disgusting. But it did cause problems. Made me think, man, I must be gay. But then I thought, no, I'm into women. I wouldn't want a boyfriend. I wouldn't want a man to be my lover and boyfriend and come home to it. No. And what you fail to understand is I'm not a homophobe. I have many friends that are gay and lesbian. You don't listen to that truth. I'm not afraid of homosexuals. What I don't like is militant homosexuals. And let me tell you something. I've told my viewers this, and I'm going to remind them again. Homosexuals, there are some that are predatory. You're a predator. You prey on children. You prey on a kid who was going through his own hard time, and you were trying to groom him. That I know. And because you're stepping up your attack and saying this and saying that, I'm going to respond to it. And if you don't like it, you go back to Finland and you go sit over there. See if the Finnish people will put up with your mouth. Because I know some Finlander people, and I don't think they take too kindly to your crapola. Lore Master, you still need to get a job, and you still need to go on a diet. I don't know what else to say to you. Let me tell you something. You're dead wrong on one thing, whoever you all are that are making this comment. I will not die alone. The Bible says, I will never leave you nor forsake you. God is with me. Whether I end up go out of this world with a woman by my side or not, that I don't know. And what you don't understand is I've had several girls after me just in this last year. I'm not interested in them. And it's not because I have gay tendencies. That's not the truth. It's because I wasn't interested in them. There's girls I've been interested in from Europe to Asia to Australia. They're very interested in me. I'm interested in them. And the only reason I don't go after them is because of immigration and cost and financial issues and all that. So if you're going to make a page, make the truth. Posting pictures of my truck, doing the stuff you're doing, not wise. And as somebody else said, and by the way, the person who wrote that, he's an antiques dealer. Buys very expensive clocks, antiques, resells. This isn't some screwball. This isn't just your average, unemployed YouTube watcher. This is somebody who's got his ducks in a row. He looks at your stupid page every day. Because I said, I'm not even going to look at it. Because I'm going to have a good day and I'm going to focus on my job and I'm going to focus on my son. I'm going to focus on my life. People who make sites like that are pussies. That's all they are. You can't sit down and have dialogue with me. The last time I had dialogue with Butt Pirate was in July of last year. Yelling and screaming and cussing and provoking me to wrath. He's stupid. He knows that in Colorado that I can't punch him or touch him because I'll get in trouble for that. And that's the way the young people are out here. They just mouth off to all authority because they got more rights than we do. But the day is going to come when my God is going to come down and he's going to have a custom-made judgment just for you and Lore Master and the other people that are doing what you're doing. One, because what you're doing is slanderous. It's a lie. It is utterly deplorable. It is cowardly. And I hate to tell you this, but you're attacking a child of God. I'm not saying I'm special, but I'm one of God's children, and I fall under His protection. So keep it up. God will deal with you in His time. You're the one that said that I needed to be a father in my son's life, and I've been doing that. And ever since I've been doing that, you're making a site attacking me. And what you're mad about is that my son isn't seeing you and hanging out with you. So now you're pissed. Get over yourself. I'm being a father, and my son made his own decision not to see you. I didn't control that at all. He made his own decision. So that being said, you might want to take that to heart. And leave people under 18 alone, will you? Go find somebody your age to go play butt games with. You want to do that stuff? You want to chase men's butts around? Go find an adult who's a willing person that wants to do that with you. But when you attack me, know this. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to speak my mind. And if you don't like it and you want to go into a tailspin and put all your little stupid tripe on there, I'm not looking. I'm not clicking on the site. But my son's probation officer knows about it. Here's the thing. What you don't know about laws, if any damage happens to me, any harm, any injury, damage to my truck, I could legally subpoena you guys. And they'll just subpoena through the server and find out who you are and where you live, and you'll be subpoenaed, because it doesn't matter if you live in different states, Lore Master. That all we have to do is, through an attorney, contact the police of that town, and they can issue you a warrant. You might want to look into it. Because just because you do something on the internet on a site that's in Sweden, you're American citizens and you fall under the jurisdiction of American laws. I've looked under that. So you're making veiled threats. You're encouraging hostility against me. And I think that's stupid. That is chicken and cowardly. Notice you don't put your address or your first and last names at all, do you? I wonder why that is. Because you're chickens. Because you do dirty little stuff behind the scenes. Don't tell me you're men. Don't tell me you're brave. Don't tell me you're warriors. You're haters. You're full of satanic, infested, demonic pus. And that's it. I'm not afraid of you. I hate to tell you that, but I'm not afraid of you. My biggest fear was two things when I was a kid. One is that Russia was going to push the button and then blow us up in a nuclear meltdown. The other one was dying of earthquakes. I was wrong. 3, and that I was going to go to hell when I died. When I came to faith in Christ, my fear of death went away. Completely. It went away because I know where I'm going when I die. People like you that elicit fear, promote violence, bloody fingers, gory sights, homosexual videos, saying the kind of stuff and saying over and over that I'm a faggot, I'm a faggot, I'm a faggot. I find that interesting, Butt Crusader, because you're very offended that somebody would be against gay stuff, and you're using the term faggot. I don't even use that. I find that very interesting that you're using that term, or you're allowing Lore Master to use it, whatever. A stupid, childish, actually not even a childish, but just an evil, dumb site in Sweden. A loser that produced a site to encourage more moral destruction of our American culture out of Sweden. I say something to these two so-called Americans. Why are you hiding on a Swedish site? You don't like my views on this and that, and you claim, Lore Master claims to be so American, but he's afraid to die alone. And you want to talk about somebody who's going to die alone? Lore Master, you're not going to get a girlfriend. Who's going to go out with you? Are you serious? With all due respect, I'm not going to comment on your physique or anything like that, hint, hint, but I think I've done a lot better than you have, pal. So if you want to put me down because you're jealous or whatever, I don't think I'm all that on a stick. I don't think I'm anything. I just get up and exist every day and live and go to work. You're the one that attacks me. You're the one that started all this. You're the one that can stop it, and you don't. But just like another email I got the other day, these people are sitting in the back bleachers hiding behind everybody and doing their little attacks, and that's no different than terrorists. It's no different. Nihilistic jihad. That's accurate. This is Pacific. Signing off. Bye-bye.